Hey guys, it's Josh, and well, first thing I need to address is today's going to be a 2-day episode. I have fallen behind. It finally happened. Between work and school, it finally has gone to a point where I had to consolidate 2 days into an episode purely because of the fact that there was just no way that I was going to be able to keep going the way it is. I was already falling behind to the point that it was becoming ridiculous. And because of that, I wanted to just go ahead and sit down and actually just consolidate the last 2 days into one and just make it a long episode and go with that. So the first thing I really want to talk about is that yesterday was a pretty simple, relaxed day. I just went through, got to work, and kicked the work's ass, and it was pretty simple. I cut some vinyl, had a hell of a time with that. And then came home and relaxed and hung out. And then I did some writing. I actually and really enjoy writing, and that's something that I've been doing. And it's for a script that I'm trying to finish up. I think I've talked about it a little bit, but I won't go into that today. It's not that important at this point. The next thing I want to talk about is today, Thursday. I actually got up and went to work and got into work real early to make sure that I would be able to get in class on time, to make sure that I had all my ducks in a row right before the last day of class. And as I did that, during the day I realized that I had forgotten one of the pieces of equipment that I needed to return back to a school. They had given us these Chromebooks, and they are not very functional as far as being able to use any kind of strenuous software. So this meant that I had to use my laptop for everything, and it made no sense for me to then split my time between this Chromebook that had literally no function in my life outside of homework, when I could just do my homework on my laptop, keep everything consolidated to one machine, and not having to worry about it. So that is the plan that I stuck with, and that's how I went with things. The other thing that I really didn't like about it is that it uses this form of Linux, and everything is based off pretty much this very small, very light version of everything. There isn't a whole lot of storage. It's very small to the point of obscenity, and obscenity, sanity, whatever you want to call it. But it's completely obscene, and 90% of the storage is purely through Google and the Google Drive and Google Docs. So if for any point you can't access the cloud for any reason, you have no files at all. And I found this to be a detriment and a danger. And I mean, like I said, there's no reason for me to waste time on a machine that doesn't give me any kind of function outside of doing homework, when I have a machine and I can do that and my editing, even when I am pushing it to its utter limits, and other things of that nature. So I get to class, and we present our websites today and kind of talk about that. And my website is getting there. It's not exactly what I wanted to get done, but it's to a point that I think it functions very well to what I wanted to do, and I will keep updating it and getting it better as time goes on. And the frustrating thing about this is our instructor, who has been there every week for the last 4 months, 16 weeks, has decided to take the night off for a literally to play with his band. And that irked me to the point of obscenity, or just geez, I'm using that word because, well, it irked me because it's very frustrating when you're used to a teaching style, and the expectations that have been brought upon you are based off of that, and then all of a sudden this new teacher comes in, wants to teach things a different way, and then on top of that wants to go ahead and judge things differently. And it became very difficult because one of the biggest issues is between me and my classmates. We have really are enamored with the fact that this woman would this instructor would actually just go ahead and keep changing what she wanted and expected from this actual project. My one of my buddies went. He was the first one to go, and he presented his website more on a just technical level, giving you concepts and ideas and what he was doing. And she was very, very brutal to him and was just ripped into him in his presentation. And then another person went and they tried doing something a little bit different and with no success. So I went and I switched things up and I went on a totally different approach, trying to go towards my brand and the person that I am and what I represent, and wrapping my skills around that concept, showing off my Photoshop and my experience that I have and the things that I do. And she actually got on me even worse. I'm on the exact opposite side of the spectrum of what the others did, and then that was not good either. To the point that I felt like it was ridiculous. I actually did try to facilitate conversation with her, and it seemed like she was not comfortable with it. And it kind of blew me away that I'm sitting here with an instructor for the last week of class, and she can't even facilitate actual conversation with me. I know that I can be a strong vocal person when I get excited, and that's just who I am. But it just blew me away that this is how things were treated and taken care of. It was so ridiculous that we actually sat outside after class and spent a couple minutes literally just venting about it because she had made class so difficult. But in all, even with that, last day of class, I'm just really happy that everything went well and we're done. I have no more class left. I have to go to the school one more time to take care of some other things to make sure that everything is cool before I actually graduate. But outside of that, everything should be done. I'm moving forward, and life is cool. And to that kind of fact, I actually got a phone call today, and there's a possibility that there might be an opportunity coming up in the future, depending on how I do, based off of some actual evaluations that I go through. And I really am excited about that. So I'm going to jump on that and run with it. And hopefully that will be something that I can jump on and make the most of as I graduate school. I really want to make sure that I get into a job as soon as possible, just because looking at my school payments versus my student loan payments once I'm done, they are very close, and they're actually closer than I originally expected, and they're almost comparable to what I'm paying before. And I was actually expecting there to be a little bit of a difference, which was going to make things a little bit easier on my end, and because that was not the case, I definitely am in a point where I would like to be able to get a new job. One, because I want to get something in my field, but two, because if I'm going to change the status of where my life is now and take the next step into where my life is going to be, I need to actually make a point to actually do that. And to do that, I'm going to have to get a new job. And right now, the opportunity that I'm getting offered, I'd be able to work it around the 9 to 5 that I work now. So that means that I still do need to keep looking, and this isn't something where I just stop looking. I might be moving into 2 new jobs in the next couple months, depending on how life goes. That's just where it might go, and that's where it might be. Honestly, I'm not super like clear on exactly where I think I want to be. I don't want to say pigeonholed. That's That's verbiage I used during my interview, and I didn't seem like that went over very well. Another thing that I really wanted to make sure, though, is making a point of keep moving, getting better. And that's why I do things like this, where I sit here and I vlog with you and I speak. I feel like since I've been doing this vlogging, my speaking has been getting better. I've been getting more clear. I've been saying less, keeping my thoughts together more. It's just one of those things that I feel like the best way that I've been doing that is to actually just keep practicing, keep doing. And this has been very beneficial to me, just a month of this. So that's kind of where I've been at, and this is why this episode is going to be 2 days. I do plan to try to get back onto the day-to-day basis. I need to do that. I am also taking some other steps in my life with other things, other habits that I have, and trying to kick them a little bit to get my productivity up. Just because I know better, I know what things do, and like I just need to get better about those things also. So that's kind of where I'm at, and that's kind of cool news, and we'll see where life takes me now. Only took me about 20 days to get a job after I graduated the first time. There's a part of me that wants to be able to break and beat that, but I'm pretty damn sure it's not going to happen like that this time. But either way, I think I'm going to call it there, take a break, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.